Hello again and welcome to day 3 of our forum. Yesterday, we used Tableau to create some insights and to understand the past and to see trends for the future. So we already moved to the action part of the data analytic framework. Now, in the next step of the action, we need to start linking those insights to financial and operation performance of the company. So we have to get deep into our analysis. And before starting presenting our conclusion to our manager, we present them to a peer to see if we are aligned or not. He says that the visualizations are very powerful, but that we are forgetting something important. We are not doing any recommendation specified by location. And why the location is important? The location is important in this case because we have to select some locations to do the marketing campaigns, as the budget that we have for marketing campaigns could not cover all location and all the products. So it's very important to select the location and apply there the specific resources. He also says that it's very fine to use the sales, but we know that all the products don't have the same unit price. So even though a product can have a high sales, if the unit price is low, the total revenues for the company will be lower. And we have to focus on the revenue and the profitability of the products. So with this information, let's move to Tableau and let's introduce some changes in our visualization. We have it here, we left it here yesterday. So let's move to the data source and try to include the financial information. We have the unit prices table with the unit price per product. So let's drag it here. Tableau automatically creates the join where he assigns a product, a unit price. Here to the product, he assigns with the two product fields. And we can see that we have here the product field and that for product B, the price is not the same as for product A. So we can have some impact here. Let's hide this field because it's duplicated. And now we have the sales and the unit price. But we don't want the unit price, we want the total revenues. So let's create a calculated field with the total revenues. Let's click in here and create a calculated field. We're going to call this field revenues, and this field will be the unit price multiplied by the sales. Here are sales. They said that the calculation is valid, so click OK. And then we have a new field appearing here, which is the revenues, total revenues. Sales times the unit price is the total revenues. And if we go here to our visualization, the revenues has appeared. We have measures from the sales table and the unit prices table, and we have the revenues, which is a calculated field, as the symbol shows us. So let's change this graph and use, instead of the sales, let's use the revenues. Let's move the revenues here into color and see what changes. And we have here a change. Even though the UK and Spain were lighter than China in terms of sales, that means they'll have less sales. Now when we introduce the revenues, they get darker, which means that they have higher revenues or revenues similar to China. Let's see what happened, and we drag it here to rows. We can see both visualization, and we see what we have started to see in the map. Even though China had higher sales than Spain and the UK, when it comes to revenues, the UK and Spain wins because the unit price is higher, so the total revenues is higher. Let's remove here the sales because we don't want to see this in sales. We want to see this revenue by market. Want to see it here. And let's see the trend. Let's see if those changes also impact the trend. I'm not going to lose this visualization because I think it's very powerful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate the tab. I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to change the name, which will be revenue trend by product. Okay, and we are going to introduce the revenues here, as we did before. We are going to remove the sales. And as you can see, the color and the lines have changed. Here before, we had China and product A as our winner in sales, with the higher slope and the higher trend. And now we can see that we have moved to UK product B. And product A in China has been released to the third place. And this is very fine, this is quite fine, but as you remember, we don't want to see also the trend, we like to see forecast because we are going to apply our campaign in the future. So here in analytics, we are going to use the forecast. Let's remove the trend line, clicking here and unclicking the show trend line, okay? We have the initial visualization again, and let's include the forecast here. So we have here the forecast, then we have changed the color, we have to format again, but we are going to format the forecast first. The forecast gave us the line and also the range of estimation. This, as the lines are very close, this is very difficult to be read, so we are going to edit this. In the forecast, we are going to change some options. We're going to eliminate the prediction intervals, showing only the line. You see, this is far more clear. And here we have only 2 weeks, 2 periods. This is okay, but we want to do the investment for a quarter. So we want to extend this forecast and see what happens, because these lines might get in touch or something that can happen in the future. So let's place it here and say that we want 12 period, a full forecast, 12 weeks, and let's click OK. As you can see, it changes because it shows us more information and it shows what is going to happen on week 25, 26. Let's do some formatting again and color, and let's move to, remember, our color palette. Okay, let's click here on color, and for China I'm going to use again the blue palette, and I'm going to use the same color for the actual and for the estimate. I'm going to use dark blue, light blue, this is orange, I'm going to use the dark orange, lighter orange here, this is going to be red, this is the dark red, this is the light red, and then for the US, the gray, dark gray, light gray. Click OK, and we can see again which is this by color, which gave us a lot of information, and you can see the trend and the forecast. So we are predicting here the future. I will leave you to do the analysis and the visualization in the question for today. Then let's move to the other question that our peer tell us. Location. We are not using location. So let's create a new visualization taking into account the location. So we're going to analyze things by product, by location, and we want to analyze the revenues. Let's select the information, the fields, and go to the show me to see what Tableau recommends us. He recommends the maps, which are okay. At the bars we have the trend, but here we have a different type of visualization, which is the whisker plots. Let's use it because this is very, very powerful. So here we have Here we are. Let's fit this. And what we have here? We have the statistical distribution per product and location. Let's change this and use something more simple. Okay, instead of using quartiles, let's move to a line which shows us the average of the revenues. So what we have here is that we have, for each one of the products, we have all the location distributed by revenue. So we can see and the average of each product. So we can see which are the outliers, which are the products, the locations, that perform above the average in one product or below the average in the same product. And we can see how this is different in a market. For example, here in Spain we have Bilbao as the best performing for product A, but we have Valencia as the best performer for product B, and Bilbao as the worst in product B. So this is very interesting. This is useful to select specifically a location and a product in our recommendation. Let's introduce here a little bit of color with the location. Here we are, so we can distinguish the locations. And let's call this revenue by location. So I will leave you here to do the analysis, and we are going to pass to the questions. And now we have seen which are the questions for today. Question 1. What difference arises when you switch from sales to revenue? Which analysis do you think is more important to the company? And second question that I will post later. Based on the forecast analysis, pick one market and select the best product and location for investing the company resources.